Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Jerry Jones says Dallas Cowboys will go all in on 2024 season. The season ended only 16 days ago for the Dallas Cowboys, and we are already in the middle of one of the longest off-seasons in quite some time. It might seem strange to outsiders that this is the case given that Dallas went 12-5 in 2023 and won the NFC East for the second time in 3 years. Heck, sandwiched in between that bread is another 12-5 season, making it 3 in a row, with a wild card spot and win in that particular round over Tom Brady's team. All of those things sound nice, except for when you remember that Tom Brady's team was a below-.500 Tampa Bay Buccaneers squad well removed from winning the Super Bowl, and that it is the only playoff win that Dallas has had in a 4-year stretch under head coach Mike McCarthy. Mike was brought in to take the team over the hump over the divisional round, and he has only even been able to get to it a single time. It is for all of these reasons that Cowboys fans are rather fed up with the team and feeling particularly pessimistic. This is a sense that EVP Stephen Jones seems to understand, as he offered that fans would not truly trust the team again until they proved it, but ultimately Stephen is not the Jones who has the most powerful voice in the room. Jerry Jones did indeed speak on Tuesday while at the Senior Bowl, and in addition to a variety of things mentioned something that people want to hear but will have a hard time believing. According to Jerry, the Cowboys will be all in on 2024, as transcribed by the mothership's Nick Harris. I would anticipate, with looking ahead at our key contracts that we'd like to address, we will be all in. I would anticipate we will be all in at the end of this year. So when you say is there any thought, we will push the hell out of it. It will be going all in on different people than you've done in the past. We will be going all in. We've seen some things out of some of the players that we want to be all in on. Yes, I would say that you will see us this coming year, not build it for the future. It's the best way I've ever said. And that ought to answer a lot of questions. These words sound great, but saying them in the final days of January is an entirely different thing than acting on them in March. It is time for the Cowboys to walk the walk, because they have been talking the talk for an awfully long time. Stephen Jones speaks out about Cowboys' playoff disappointment. As has been the norm, the Dallas Cowboys found a way to embarrass themselves in the postseason. The Cowboys walked into the 2023 NFL playoffs as the number 2 seed but got bounced in the wild card round by the Green Bay Packers. Dallas had enough on both sides of the football field to get to the Super Bowl, but their offense sputtered against Green Bay. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones was visibly frustrated watching the game unfold, though he made the baffling decision to retain head coach Mike McCarthy for the 2024 NFL season. Fans were not pleased with the decision and now have to hope that McCarthy can solve the team's problems ahead of next season. Stephen Jones broke down Dallas' season and sent a clear message about the organization's next step via Sirius XM NFL. "You gotta get back on the horse and go to work, and that's exactly what we're gonna do," Stephen said. Stephen says in the interview that they plan on improving the roster under McCarthy and believes the team has solid pieces already in place. A coaching change seemed like the most logical step for Dallas to take, but instead, it sounds like they'll turn to free agency and the 2024 NFL draft to make improvements. However, no matter what the Cowboys do in the offseason, it needs to result in wins as the fanbase is growing restless with their shortcomings. Dallas has shown it can win big games, but now they must prove they can do it in the postseason against the best teams. Cowboys Quinn emerging as Commanders' coaching target after Johnson dropout. Citing Super Bowl ambitions as his reason, Detroit Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson has pulled his name out of the Washington Commanders' head coaching search. He had long been penciled in as the guy for owner Josh Harris and the new era of Washington football. Now, the Commanders are left scrambling through the rest of their interviews, pivoting to names the fanbase agrees aren't as exciting as Johnson. That doesn't mean the hire will necessarily be worse, but there's a segment of the Washington faithful that has a justified bone to pick with Motor City. However one feels about Tuesday's potential transgressions, the Commanders have no choice but to pivot elsewhere in their head coaching search. Speaking to Grant Paulson, Albert Breer backed a name that had already been linked to the opening. "I think," Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn is certainly in the mix, Breer said. A guy who can create a culture, we've seen that in Atlanta. He built a great staff there, so you know he's a guy who has the connections to lure in good offensive coaches. Quinn won the NFC during his last head coaching tenure with the Falcons. There, he hired perhaps the best offensive mind in the sport to be his offensive coordinator, current San Francisco 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan. Atlanta reaped the benefits of the Shanahan tree and saw quarterback Matt Ryan win the league's Most Valuable Player award. With the second overall pick, Washington will have the chance to pick one of the class top passers and hope to pair him with another Quinn connection. Given Quinn's history with Shanahan and how ruthlessly branches of that offense have carved his defense up in Dallas, a wide zone disciple seems like a likely candidate, should he get the call. It may feel like a consolation prize, but Quinn, who interviewed for the Commander's job on Wednesday, may earn Harris's seal of approval. The keys that Breer pointed out regarding the locker room and the offensive design could still be a part of the reset button Washington has so badly needed to push. And you fan, what do you think of the Dan Quinn situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.